Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. Well, it's fitting that we have come to the 8th Psalm of the 15 Ascent Songs or Pilgrim Psalms. The 8th Psalm means it's right in the middle, and it's the only psalm in the book of Psalms that appears to be attributed to King Solomon. Now, Spurgeon believes that David probably wrote the psalm to Solomon, and that's why it's called of Solomon, or it would have been to Solomon. Most others say, no, Solomon probably wrote this psalm. Hezekiah, the king, took this psalm and put it into what's called the Pilgrim Psalms or the Ascent Songs, the 15 psalms that would be sung as the people walked up the 15 steps to the temple or when they were marching to Jerusalem to worship. And it was used in a time in Hezekiah's day to encourage the people that God is a God who's watched over them in the past. He'll continue to watch over him, and they can keep their eyes on him as they worship him. Now, years ago, I heard a little hymn that was little is much when God is in it. My friend, little is much when God is in it. But I'm telling you, a lot is nothing when God's not in it. There's nothing like the blessings of the Lord. And that's the major theme of this psalm. That unless the Lord builds the house, unless the Lord is the builder, unless the Lord's blessings are upon what we do, it really is in vain. And Solomon knew about that. He was a builder. And we learned that we are builders for God. A part of the household of God, building up our own lives for His glory, building up His church, building up our families, building up people around us for the glory of God. We're builders, but unless God's blessings are upon us as we build, all our work, our labor really is in vain. That's why Jesus said, without me, you can do nothing. So listen to the beautiful words of the psalm, reminding God's people, unless the Lord is in it, it's not much. Let's look at it. In verse 1, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchmen stay awake in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so He gives His beloved sleep. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is His reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. Happy is the man who has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with their enemies in the gates. So several things we see there. One, first, we're talking about building. You know, Paul talked about how he was a master builder of the church, and God used him as a tent maker to become a builder in God's church. Jesus even worked as a carpenter before he had his 3.5 years of ministry building. God knew about buildings, and He built this world. He put it together, and He wants us to build for His kingdom. But unless He's in it, it's in vain. We're not only builders, we have to guard. Nehemiah, remember on the wall, he stood there with a trowel in one hand and a sword in the other, because there is an enemy that we must guard against. But listen, our guard is God Himself, Jesus Christ, the captain of the host. He is the one who guards and keeps us, and we trust Him. So basically in verse 2, it's vain to rise up early, to sit up late and eat the bread of sorrows. Now, of course, I used to love that verse, say, wow, we need to get to bed here and love to sleep. But He's not saying that that's good. What He's saying is we need to lay our anxieties and our worries and our fears aside. Leave them with God. Maybe there's some things undone that we thought needed to be done, but it's past, okay? Let's get rest for the next day. Let's prepare for the work ahead of us. So we go to bed and enjoy sweet rest. Solomon said, the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. And also God gives us children. Children are heritage from the Lord. They're not ours, they're His. And they're to be raised for His glory, and they'll protect us. They'll speak words of wisdom in the gate and give good judgment. And my friend, what a wonderful blessing that children are to our heritage and to our future. Oh, what a great psalm. Well, I trust you'll read it, meditate on it, and be blessed by it today also. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.